Hi, I am Nakulan Ramani. My metric card number is 09DEM20F1003. So today, my teammates and I am going to uh, here to explain about final year project 1. The title of our project is Smart Bookshelf using Raspberry Pi 3. So abstract. Abstract is mainly about to explain about the background of our project. So our project is about the smart bookshelf using Raspberry Pi 3. So this smart bookshelf using Raspberry Pi 3 will operate or will function with the help of a system. So in this system, we will create a web page or app to help the smart bookshelf to operate. Okay, the problem statement. The problem statement says manual library system require a big staff to update and manage the library's documentation. Normally nowadays the library system use the staff to update their library's data. But using the smart bookshelf is not the big deal to uh, keep the data to key in. So the second one is traditional library books often get misplaced or lost due to a lack of librarian awareness of this. By using this smart bookshelf, we will overcome the problem of misplacement of book and awareness of librarians. So the third one is finding books in the library. Traditional library is time consuming. Okay, in this case, for example, using the smart bookshelf can overcome the time consuming, where using the app or the system will help the student to find the book easily in the smart bookshelf. So how it will help the student? Okay, smart bookshelf is installed with LED light and RFID tag. So these two components will help the student to find their book easily and can overcome the time consuming problem. Okay, the third one is objective. Here we have several objectives. So the first objective is to build a smart bookshelf using the IoT, Internet of Things, which is IoT. So IoT is mainly about the RFID tag. So the second one is to find books without any hassle. The third one is to ensure there are no misplacement of book. Okay, when happen a misplacement of book, the RFID tag in the smart bookshelf will show a sign to the a student or reader to put the book in a correct place of another shelf. The fourth one is to make sure all the books are kept according to their genre in bookshelves. The last objective is to avoid time consumption for searching the book on the bookshelves. Okay, where using the system and the app will students to overcome the time consumption problem. Okay, the last one is scope. So the scope is mainly about the smart book library and the system. Okay, in the aspect of smart bookshelf is powered with the Internet of Things, and it will used more than 100 books. Okay, the smart bookshelf will placed in school library and university libraries for the students to use it with easily and carefully. So the second one is to be able to detect RFID of each book that is being stored of the bookshelf. So RFID will help or will indicate the students where they should go for their searched book to take in the bookshelf. So the last scope is to help librarians to update the library inventory and book storing system precisely with zero error. So this is the last scope where they can store all the data in the system and the app. Thank you. So next, literature review will explain by my friend Irish Kumar.
Good evening everyone, my name is Sirish Kumar and my matrix card number is 09DM20F1034. Today I'm going to do a presentation about literature review. So The literature review is consists of comparison between the main components that we are using for our project. So the first comparison is about comparison of the chip. So for this project over here, for this smart bookshelf project, so we decided to use either Raspberry Pi 3A Plus or Arduino Uno Wi-Fi Rev 2. So below is the comparison between both the chip. First of all, Raspberry Pi is a microprocessor, which is similar to like it's like a mini version of a computer, whereas the Arduino is it's a simple microcontroller board. So for the Raspberry Pi, it requires an operating system to run, whereas the Arduino Uno, it doesn't need an operating system. It only needs a binary of a compiled source code. So the Raspberry Pi is mainly used for developing software applications, and for the Arduino is used for interfacing sensors and controlling LEDs and motors. So for the Raspberry Pi, we need to have it needs a power adapter, whereas the Arduino Uno doesn't need a power adapter. It need only a USB port of a computer. So the Raspberry Pi hardware and firmware are in a closed source, so we don't have access to it, whereas the Arduino Uno, the hardware and software of the Arduino Uno are open source, where we have access to it. So next one is about the comparison of LED. So for the LED part, we choose 3 types of LED for this project. We thought that these 3 types of LED is suitable for our project. So the first one is bicolor LED, and the second one is RGB LED, and the third one is true hole LED. So first of all, the bicolor LED, it emits only 3 types of colors, whereas the RGB LED emits multiple colors, and the true hole LED is emits only single color. So when we compare the brightness between these 3 types of LED, the most brightest one is the true hole LED, whereas the second one is bicolor, and the third one is the RGB LED. So the bicolor LED is designed to adjust the temperature from yellow to blue light, and the RGB LED is designed for outdoor decoration for lighting purposes. So the true hole LED is designed for outdoor signal and sign applications. So the bicolor LED is a single unit component, where it's a single component, whereas the RGB LED, it's like a strip, where in the strip there is multiple LED diodes in it. So when it's power up, all the LED light will be power up, or we can program it to light up a particular LED for a certain period of time. So the next one is the true hole LED, and it is also similar to the bicolor LED. It's a single unit component. So when we when we compare it in terms of cost, the true hole LED is the most expensive one, whereas the RGB LED is the cheapest one in the market. So the bicolor LED is between them, between the RGB LED and true hole LED. It's not too much expensive, or it's not cheap either. So the next one is about the comparison of RFID. So there are 3 types of RFID. We done the research and find there are 3 types of RFID. So the first one is the low frequency RFID, and the second one is the high frequency RFID, and the third one is the ultra high frequency RFID. So the LF stands for low frequency, and the HF stands for high frequency, and the UHF stands for ultra high frequency. So in terms of reading range, or the read rate, the low frequency RFID is slower and shorter compared to the high frequency RFID and the ultra high frequency RFID. So when we compare it to the when we see the ultra high frequency RFID, it's like a moderate version where it good at read ranges and rates. So when we look at the high frequency RFID, it can read range in a much more longer range, and it also has high memory capabilities compared to the low frequency RFID and the ultra high frequency RFID. So in terms of cost, the high frequency RFID is the most expensive one, whereas the low frequency RFID is the second, and the ultra high frequency is the third one. So the function of the low frequency RFID is used for animal tracking and inventorying, and the high frequency is used for library collection and contactless payment, and the ultra high frequency is used for inventory control and item level of tracking. So these are the comparison between the comparison of the main components of our project. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kishan. My matrix number is 090M20F1020. So today I'm going to talk about methodology. So methodology is chapter 3 in this project. In methodology, we talk about overall research of this project and how it is carried out. As you can see, this is the flowchart of process. First, we started our project, then we did project classification, and then we started to do our introduction, which is the prime proposal. So in introduction, we'll talk about the history of these bookshelves and everything. And writing literature review, in literature review, mainly we focus about the components. We compare the components and tell the benefits of using the components and everything. So methodology is like just now I said, we'll talk about the whole research process and how it is done. So then we write a complete proposal with a milestone and a presentation, and we will submit to our supervisor. So then if he accept, we will continue with the next process. If our supervisor didn't accept our project, we have to restart back. So the third slide, the same flowchart. So we will review our logbook with our theory lecturer whether it's the format correct or not. So then we will review and signing of the logbook by project coordinator. So we will review our logbook and sign for like a verification purposes. So then review of project proposal by supervisor. So our supervisor will review our project proposal, whether all the information written are correct. Then review the project proposal by the theory lecturer. So he will see whether the given information is all correct and the project is authentic or not. So then submitting the reviewed project proposal to the supervisor, we'll submit our project proposal. Then we will present the project proposal to the panel. If he accept, we'll continue with the project 2 in the next SEM. If he didn't accept, we have to start back and do our project 1 back. So as you can see, this is the system overview of this project. So you can see this is the main smart bookshelf. So the book is ticked with RFID tag. This programmable LED strip lights and RFID read LED strip light and Raspberry Pi is supplied by power is up power is supplied by the power supply. So then RFID also need the power supply. So this is the overall system overview of this project. As you can see, working process. So first we'll be identifying the electrical components that are required and the woods we are going to use to create the smart bookshelf. Secondly, to design the body of the smart bookshelf in 3D using Inventor software. So thirdly, after designing, we'll start building the bookshelf in the workshop. And third, we'll assemble all the electronic components according to the electric circuit designed. So then we'll place this electronic circuit into the smart bookshelf we have built, and then we'll start coding in accordance with the algorithm required and upload inside the Raspberry Pi board. And then we will test the smart bookshelf whether it's error free, to ensure it's error free, and we will analyze the system to ensure the system is stable and can be used. This is the product design, as you can see. So the estimated cost will be for the Raspberry Pi is 125 ringgit. For the programmable LED digital light will be like around 56 ringgit and 68 cent. For the RFID tag we're gonna use is 39 ringgit 61 cent, and for the last RFID antenna to detect the RFID tag will be 61 ringgit 62 cents. So the overall estimated cost will be 282 ringgit point 91 cent. So that's all from me. Thank you.